Most people did not even know the farm existed anymore. Christopher Emmings could see the new subdivision to estates from his kitchen window. An ugly, bright fungus on the edge of the old world. The farm sat there like a dead tooth in the mouth of the suburbs, rotting quietly behind brand new houses and cul-de-sacs. The faded blue paint on the barn door hadn't changed since 1985, but Christopher Emmings knew every inch of it. The scratch on the banister, the loose flagstone by the well, the smell of damp hay and unforgiven soil. He grew up there. He fucking rotted there. He wore the same kind of clothes, plain gray hoodies, worn jeans, seeking to blend into the background of his own life. Nobody called him Christopher when he was a kid. The face staring back from the mirror was gaunt, eyes too sharp, still holding the tension of a 12-year-old. They called him Jitterbug because his stutter made his words jitter and his nerves made his whole body buzz. The name felt like a bee trapped under his skin. He hated that name then. He wears it like armor now, a quiet threat, a shield against having to say much at all. His father did not need a reason to be cruel. The man drank the way other people breathed, the whiskey smell, a constant background hum. Christopher learned early that the dark footsteps in the hallway meant pain. The floorboards above the kitchen groaned a unique, familiar warning. He learned to plan, not to fight, but to survive, to be somewhere else, or perfectly still when the footsteps stopped. People who whisper about the farm, those bastards who remember it, say, something happened when Chris was 11, a night of terrible weather and even more terrible noise. Something that ended the footsteps. Something that left his father alive, but permanently ruined, silent and immobile in a chair in the sunroom. No one knows the details. Christopher never tells. He just calls that night Protocol Delta. The scar on his hand, hidden by the cuff of his hoodie, aches when he thinks of the mud. Middle school was not any less cruel. The suburban kid smelled the farm on him. The difference, the weakness. A bully did not like the way Christopher looked at his girlfriend. A moment of accidental eye contact was all it took. So he took a pencil from off his desk, violently shouting, "You fucking cunt!" And in a moment the class erupted. Blood spurted everywhere. But Chris just sat there like the pain was a relief, then passed out. When Christopher woke up in the hospital, he saw the world with one eye. The depth perception was gone. He also saw a new kind of silence inside him, a hollow, cool place where fear used to live. He was not scared after that. He was not sad. He was calculating. He touched the skin around the empty socket, hard and smooth. He replayed the moment 1,000 times. Not the violence of the fist, but the failure of control, the helplessness of being ambushed. He swore he would never let anyone take something from him again. His face, always drawn, hardened into an expression of intense, internalized focus. Christopher did not crave chaos. He craved order, a framework so rigid it could withstand any unexpected blow. His brain was a fucking siren of anxiety, a non-stop howl that only quieted when he planned. Not acted, but planned over and over in his head like Falk. The rage reminds him of his past. His father, by now, was more deranged than Chris was. Some people get addicted to booze. Some get hooked on pills. Christopher, he got addicted to perfection. 2 blueprints. A revenge plan so twisted, he knew the perfect test subject. His father, the sick fuck. By now, only slightly, resembles a man. He loved scenarios. Strategies that were so elegant, so airtight, they were almost beautiful. Many designs involved yanking, clamping, or just hacked off altogether. His favorite was the tongue screw. His father could not speak to say how it felt. By the time he hit his early 40s, he had 2 decades worth of meticulously organized neutralization files, a library of intricate and executed plans. Protocol Alpha, his favorite design, the corrosive vat, which in short was just a bathtub of acid, a slow, precise destruction of atoms. To an extent, the subject would literally cease to exist, a substance that dissolved pain and the ability to erase the past. Then there was Protocol Delta, the social death. Protocol Epsilon, the cold logic. Each file was a masterpiece of potential energy. One such case involved car batteries and enough energy to power a small town. The worst part, documented in a small tacky book, was the smell after the buzzing stopped. All the design blueprints stayed in a literal locked box under his floorboards, hidden beneath a loose plank he remembered from childhood. Fucking thousands of intricate designs, each tested to perfection. Each page was handwritten in a tiny, precise script. It was not a murder kit. It was a fucking diary of his sanity. When his father died, Christopher inherited the old farm. No remorse for what he did. His father, the abusive prick. Christopher remembered the drunken rage, the belt buckles, that dark closet. Locked inside 4 days at a time. Fucking glad he's dead, Chris sang in a relieved tone. Although not seeming to change at all, wearing the same grey hoodie felt right again. The air smelled like soil and memory, a pungent mix of rot and life. The silence welcomed him like an old friend, heavy and familiar. But the quiet did not last. The itch returned with a vengeance. The planning alone did not soothe his return. The files began to whisper, no longer content to be merely conceptual. His mind more twisted, more fucking insane. Then one morning he opened the box and found pages missing. Perfectly sliced out, gone, stolen. The surgical precision of the theft was the worst insult. He boiled with rage. A few days later, a bang on the door. A letter arrived, unmarked. Inside, one of his missing pages, folded neatly with just one smiling face emoji on the envelope. After further inspecting the letter was a message scrawled across the margin. Beautiful plan. Shame, you are too fucking scared to try it. Cunt. Christopher's head started pounding, and a sudden feeling of unease overshadowed him. Someone was watching him. Someone who knew his name. Someone who had read his protocols. The internal noise hit him like a freight train, louder than ever before. He knew who it was. Flashbacks from school. That girl, the pencil, all came crashing down like a tidal wave around him. He wrote a new file, the last one, Protocol Omega, a plan not for a person, but for himself, for reclaiming control, for silencing the noise, for ending the cycle. Only I got control over my life, he shouts. He took every protocol, every plan, every drawing, every scrap, and burned them in a metal barrel behind the farmhouse. The flames clawed at the sky. His past screamed as it turned to ash, as the flames grew higher and higher, spreading through the small barn. And all that can be heard is Christopher, laughing with insanity as the flames engulfed him, and his last words, screaming out like demons, Protocol Omega, it's fucking done. When the last ember died, there was nothing, just a black, somewhat calm, peaceful silence. Real silence. No noise, no plans, no fear. For the first time in his life, the Jitterbug was free.